Why the way you begin matters. Before diving into the 10 chapters, here's the premise. The way you begin your week sets the rhythm for your life. It's not just about Mondays. It's about setting a tone of intention, clarity, and direction that echoes through every minute you live. You don't just go into a week. You build it. You shape it. You claim it. Let's begin with point 1. Brain point 1. Begin with absolute clarity. You can't hit a target you don't see. You can't live a life you haven't defined. We begin not by doing more, but by seeing clearly. Every week, your first task is an action. It's alignment. Sit down. Take a breath. Ask yourself the most important question you can. What actually matters this week? Here's the brutal truth. Most people are running in circles. They wake up on Monday already overwhelmed, already distracted, already hijacked by the demands of others. They start answering emails before they answer their own soul. They start reacting before they reflect. And then they wonder why their life feels chaotic. But clarity is a rebellion. It's a sacred act of taking your time back. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 1. Define your 3 essentials. Every Sunday or early Monday morning, get brutally honest. What are the 3 things that, if completed, would make this week successful? These are not tasks. They are outcomes. Not write a report, but clarify the message I want to share through the report. Not go to the gym, but prove to myself that my body matters this week. Not call mom, but be the kind of person who connects deeply with family. Clarity isn't about cramming more into your calendar. It's about removing the noise. Writing hand. Step 2. Write your inner why. You need a reason to rise, not an alarm clock. Write this down. This week, I am focused on main goal, because deep personal reason. If you can't finish that sentence with conviction, stop everything. You don't have clarity. You have tasks. And tasks without purpose are what lead to burnout. Man in lotus position. Step 3. Create emotional clarity. Don't just clarify what you'll do, clarify how you want to feel. Ask yourself, do I want this to be a week of discipline or softness? Do I want to be playful, strategic, calm, or bold? Your emotions are not accidents. They are blueprints. If you don't design them, they'll default to anxiety and urgency. Start your week with this short mantra. I'm not in a race. I am in alignment. Stop sign what most people do, that you must avoid. They open social media before they open their mind. They check notifications before they check their intentions. They start rushing before they even know where they're going. This is how clarity dies. And when clarity dies, you don't live. You drift. You end up halfway through the week unsure of what you're doing or why you're even doing it. This is why you must treat clarity like a ritual. A sacred pause before motion. Light bulb micro-practices for weekly clarity. The 10-minute stillness. Sit in silence with a blank page. Don't write until your mind quiets. Then write only what deeply matters. The clarity calendar. Don't schedule tasks first. Schedule your top 3 outcomes first. Then build your week around those. The Sunday reset. Every Sunday night, light a candle, put on instrumental music, and reset your week with intention. Don't start the week with digital noise. Start with soul noise. Microphone final reflection. What if the way you begin the week isn't just about productivity, but about identity? What if clarity isn't just a tool, but a compass for becoming who you were meant to be? When you start with clarity, you stop chasing. You start choosing. And your week becomes your masterpiece. Point 2. Own the first hour like a ritual. Win the first hour, and the rest of the day bows to you. The way you start your day is not trivial. It is not optional. It is sacred. And if you want to begin your week with intention, you must master the first hour like a daily ritual of power. The first hour of your Monday, or any day, is either an offering to your future or a sacrifice to distraction. You don't just wake up. You arrive at a battlefield. The enemies are subtle, scrolling without purpose, snoozing your goals, reacting to other people's agendas. And the tragedy? Most people lose that battle before they even open their eyes fully. But not you. Not anymore. Son, the sacred hour philosophy. The sacred hour is not about checking boxes. It's about building momentum. Because how you begin is how you continue. You are training your nervous system. You are training your discipline. You are telling your soul with your actions, I take myself seriously. I respect my time. I honor my potential. Collision Phase 1. Wake up with intention, not reaction. Most people wake up and reach for their phones. But your phone is a portal to everyone else's life. How can you build your own life if the first thing you do is consume someone else's? Rule number 1. No screen for the first 60 minutes. No messages. No notifications. No algorithms. No noise. This is your hour, not the world's. Instead, ask yourself, what do I want to feel today? What is one action that will create that feeling? Then breathe it in. Ground yourself. Open your day like a prayer. Brain Phase 2. Movement before mind. You don't need a full workout. You need energy. You need movement to activate your body's intelligence. 10 to 15 minutes of movement. Jumping jacks. Light stretching. Walk outside. Shadowboxing. Yoga flow. It's not about aesthetics. It's about aliveness. You are telling your mind, we are awake. We are here. We are ready. Because stillness leads to stagnation. Motion leads to mastery. Notebook Phase 3. Reflect before you act. This is where most people fail. They go straight into doing. But the highest performers pause to reflect before they execute. Take out your journal. Answer these 3 prompts every morning. What do I need to remember today? Who do I choose to be, no matter what happens? What would make today feel like a win? Don't write for others. Write for your soul. This is how you build identity, not just activity. Person in lotus position Phase 4. Protect the silence. Noise is poison. Silence is medicine. Before any meetings, emails, plans, or output, gift yourself 5 to 10 minutes of pure stillness. No music. No guided meditation. Just breath and presence. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your chest. Whisper inwardly. This is my time. I'm not rushing. I'm not lost. I am building something that matters. Feel the difference. It's not spiritual fluff. It's your anchor. Puzzle piece your first hour blueprint, simple plus powerful. Here's a sample first hour you can repeat every morning. Time ritual. 0 to 5 minutes wake up with no screen. Drink water. Deep breaths. 5 to 15 minutes stretch or move your body intentionally. 15 to 30 minutes journal. Identity, intention, one goal. 30 to 45 minutes silence. Stillness. Just be. 45 to 60 minutes read 1 to 2 pages of a powerful book or listen to inspiring audio. This is not rigid. This is recalibration. You don't need 3 hours. You need 1 hour that matters. Firecracker, what happens when you master the first hour? You stop chasing time. You stop collapsing into stress. You start anticipating the day with clarity, energy, and purpose. You stop being someone who survives Mondays and start being someone who commands them. And the ripple effect is massive. You stop living reactively. You begin to live from your center. Fire final thought. Your power is not in how fast you move. It's in how deliberately you begin. Rituals are sacred not because they are fancy, but because they are repeated on purpose. If you own your first hour, you'll own your week. If you own your week, you'll own your life. Point 3. Audit your environment before it controls you. You are not just a product of your thoughts. You are a product of your surroundings. We like to believe we are strong enough to rise above the noise, the clutter, the distractions. But the truth is simpler and far more sobering. Your environment is always stronger than your willpower, unless you design it consciously. So if you want to begin your week like the 1% do, not just with motivation, but with mastery, then you need to take control of something most people ignore. The spaces around you, the people near you, and the digital worlds you live in. You cannot build a focused, powerful, high-integrity life in a chaotic, reactive, low-energy environment. Compass start with this question. What does my environment say about what I value? Look around your workspace. Look at your desktop. Look at your phone. Look at your kitchen, your bedroom, your calendar. Ask yourself honestly, does this space reflect the life I want to live? Or does it reflect my past habits, my procrastination, my fears? Because if your environment is messy, overstimulated, and draining, that's the silent script you're running in the background every single day. And it's eating your potential without saying a word. Broom Phase 1. Physical clarity equals mental clarity. Want mental space? Start with your physical space. Clean your desk. Clear your workspace. Organize your tools. Throw away the clutter that whispers confusion. This isn't just tidying. This is spiritual hygiene. Because every object in your environment holds an invisible emotional weight. That broken charger equals unfinished business. That old sticky note equals forgotten intention. That overflowing inbox equals low-grade anxiety you're pretending not to feel. Clean it. Clear it. Don't just start your week, reset your entire field. Mobile Phone Phase 2. Audit your digital world. You spend more time on your screen than anywhere else. So ask yourself, is your phone a tool or a trap? Turn off non-essential notifications. Organize your apps into folders. Put time wasters off the home screen. Use Do Not Disturb liberally. Delete what no longer serves your mission. Because if your phone is training your attention to scatter, then every goal you have will feel 10 times harder than it actually is. Remember, you don't need more motivation. You need fewer distractions. Busts in Silhouette Phase 3. Energy check. The people around you. Here's a hard truth. You become the emotional average of the people you let into your space. If you constantly interact with victims, pessimists, gossipers, or people who normalize mediocrity, you're not being strong. You're just slowly becoming like them. Audit your circle. Weekly. Without guilt. Who energizes me and sharpens my focus? Who drains me or confuses my path? You don't have to cut people off harshly. But you do have to choose who gets access to your time, your energy, and your attention. Protect it like gold. Laptop Computer Phase 4. Build a focus-first environment. Want to get deep work done? Create an environment that eliminates decisions. Here's how top performers set up their space. A single notebook for your most important goal. Noise-canceling headphones or ambient instrumental music. A clean browser. No extra tabs, no news, no social media unless scheduled. Water nearby. Phone face down or outside the room. This is how you protect your momentum. This is how you enter the flow state not once a month, but every single morning. Counterclockwise arrows button Phase 5. Weekly environment reset ritual. Every Sunday evening, or first thing Monday morning, create this ritual. Physically reset your workspace. Review your digital calendar. Clear your downloads folder and desktop. Empty your email inbox to zero or archive it all. Light a candle or open a window, let in new air. Put on a fresh playlist. Tell your subconscious, the past is cleared. I am ready for creation. Open book reminder. Discipline is hard when your environment pulls you in the opposite direction. Focus is exhausting when your surroundings scream chaos. But the moment you clean, clarify, and curate the space around you, you breathe easier. You think deeper. You become who you were designed to be. Fire final thought. You don't need to force a productive week. You just need to remove the resistance that your environment quietly builds. Don't let your environment be an accident. Let it be a strategic ally. Because when you walk into your space and it whispers, "You're powerful. You're focused. Let's build." That's when the real transformation begins. Point 4. Reconnect with your deepest why every Monday. When the why is strong enough, the how reveals itself. There is no force more powerful than a clear purpose. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Purpose fades unless it's reconnected. You don't just discover your why once and ride it forever. You must return to it weekly, intentionally. Otherwise, it gets buried under bills, notifications, stress, and routine. If you begin your week without realigning with the reason behind your actions, you'll end up checking boxes without meaning. You'll stay busy, but not fulfilled. You'll move, but not grow. Let's change that. Compass Step 1. Define your inner mission, not just external goals. Most people confuse goals with purpose. A goal is something you do. A mission is why you exist. You can check off 100 goals this week and still feel empty. But one action aligned with your true mission can reignite your soul. Ask yourself, why does this week matter to me? Who am I becoming through the way I work, speak, live? If I had one message to leave behind through my actions this week, what would it be? Don't chase what looks impressive. Build what feels aligned. Writing hand, step 2. Write a weekly purpose declaration. Every Monday morning before anything else, write the following. This week, I choose to live intentionally because my mission is to bring more into the world. Fill in the blanks with raw truth. Make it personal. Make it spiritual. Make it feel like fuel. Example. This week, I choose to live intentionally because I am here to break the cycle of fear in my family. My mission is to bring more clarity, kindness, and conviction into the world, starting with myself. Keep it visible. Pin it to your mirror. Put it on your phone lock screen. You are not repeating it for motivation. You are embedding it as identity. Fire step 3. Attach your tasks to a soul-level reason. Don't just go to work. Don't just answer emails. Don't just record a video or attend a meeting. Link each task to your why. Transform routine into reverence. Instead of, I have to work late, I'm building something that supports my vision. Instead of, I need to finish this project. This is me sharpening my gift and serving my purpose. This simple shift from external to internal changes everything. It removes resentment. It creates power. It brings you back to center. Speech balloon step 4. Speak it aloud, give voice to your why. Purpose must not only be written. It must be spoken, declared, heard. Once a week, speak your why out loud. Yes, even if it feels awkward. Especially if it feels awkward. I'm not doing this just to make money. I'm doing this because I was born to lead, to heal, to create. I don't chase results. I build legacies. I am not just surviving this week. I am remembering who I am. Your voice carries frequency. When you speak truth with conviction, you reinforce it neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually. Brain step 5. Visualize the future you're fighting for. Every Monday, take 5 minutes and visualize. The version of you who kept going even when it was hard. The life you're building even if you can't fully see it yet. The people who will be impacted by your courage even if they don't know your name yet. Close your eyes and breathe into it. This is not delusion. This is alignment. You are reminding your nervous system why it must show up with fire, even when comfort calls louder. Prohibited what most people forget. They wake up and get lost in urgency. They forget they're not just workers, but architects of reality. They confuse being busy with being on purpose. And they wonder why, even when they win, they feel numb. Don't be like most people. Be one of the few who starts each week with reverence and meaning. Light bulb weekly why. Check in practice. Every Monday, create a quiet space and ask, what deeply matters to me right now? Have I been living in alignment with that, or drifting? What is one thing I can do this week that reconnects me with my highest self? Write the answers down. Don't filter them. Let them guide your next steps. Fire final reflection. You will not always feel motivated. You will not always feel clear. But you can always return to your why. And when you do, you stop running from pressure. You start rising with purpose. Because at the beginning of every week, there are 2 roads. One is filled with endless tasks and digital noise. The other is lit with conviction, clarity, and legacy. Which one you walk depends on whether you remember why you started. Point 5. Eliminate the optional and reclaim your time. You don't lack time. You lack boundaries. If you feel overwhelmed at the start of each week, if your to-do list feels endless and your calendar looks like a war zone, it's not because life is too busy. It's because too much of it is optional. Let that sink in. Most of the things crowding your time were never chosen. They were allowed. They were inherited from urgency, guilt, obligation, or autopilot. And if you want to begin your week with clarity, calm, and power, You must master one simple but radical skill. Eliminate the optional. Ruthlessly. Without apology. Bomb Step 1. Understand the high cost of maybe. Every maybe you say at the start of the week becomes an anchor. Maybe I'll join that meeting. Maybe I'll help them with that thing. Maybe I'll squeeze that in. Maybe I'll just check my messages real quick. But maybe is the fastest way to leak energy. It fills your calendar with low-priority commitments that steal time from what truly matters. So here's your new rule. If it's not a clear, hell yes, it's the no. If it doesn't move the needle, deepen your purpose, or protect your peace, you don't need it. Not now. Not this week. Brain Step 2. Weekly Time Audit. Start every Monday by asking, what's already on my calendar that I didn't consciously choose? What is draining me but not growing me? What could I cancel or delegate and nothing bad would happen? Do not fear this audit. Welcome it. It's your liberation. Pull up your calendar. Go line by line. Don't judge. Just notice. You'll be shocked at how much of your week is filled by default, not by design. Fire Step 3. The Sacred Block Method. You don't need 12 hours of productivity. You need 2 to 3 sacred blocks of undisturbed, high-focus time. These are the hours that build your future. Here's how. Choose 2 to 3 days of the week where you'll protect a 90-minute block like your life depends on it. No calls. No distractions. No multitasking. This is your creative temple. During this time, you only work on your most meaningful goal. Even if the rest of the week gets noisy, those few hours will shift your trajectory. Remember, you don't need to work longer. You need to work deeper. Scissors. Step 4. Cut to create. Everything you say yes to is a no to something else. Every optional lunch is a delayed dream. Every social scroll is a postponed purpose. Every extra task is a theft from your soul's masterpiece. So if you want to create a meaningful life, you must develop the courage to cut. Cut commitments that no longer align. Cut conversations that waste your focus. Cut apps, tabs, channels, and content that dilute your mind. This isn't selfish. It's sacred protection. You are not rejecting others. You are choosing yourself. No mobile phones. Step 5. Reclaim mornings, defend evenings. Want to feel peace at the beginning of every week? Build a rhythm around protecting your time zones. Mornings. Set the tone. No inputs. Only intention. Midday. Deep focus. No interruptions. Evenings. No productivity guilt. Reflect. Recover. Protect your sleep. Don't let late-night anxiety or early morning chaos be your normal. Design your days with boundaries so that time starts to feel abundant, not scarce. Man in Lotus Position. Step 6. Learn the power of doing less, but better. Stop trying to be everywhere. Stop trying to do everything. Stop believing that being busy is being important. The top 1% don't do more. They do fewer things better. They don't ask, how can I fit more into my week? They ask, what 3 things would make this week undeniably meaningful if done with excellence? Then they guard those things with their life. So should you? Stop sign. Step 7. Say no like a leader. Here's your script. Thank you for thinking of me, but I have to pass this time. That's not something I can give my full energy to right now. This week is fully committed to a few essential goals. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to justify. You just need to own your priorities like your legacy depends on it, because it does. Lightbulb weekly practice. The elimination list. Every Monday morning. List 3 things you're doing this week that feel unnecessary or misaligned. Cross off one of them immediately. Delegate, delay, or delete the other 2. Choose one thing that deserves more of your time and energy, and schedule it. This is not minimalism. This is spiritual clarity in motion. Direct hit. Final reflection. At the end of your life, you won't regret the tasks you eliminated. You'll regret the soul work you postponed because your calendar was full of noise. You don't need more hours. You need fewer compromises. So this week, begin by declaring, I don't serve time, I shape it. I don't chase everything, I choose what matters. This is not a busy week. This is a focused week. My week. Point 6. Begin with one bold promise to yourself. If you can't keep a promise to yourself, why should the world believe in you? Every week, people make dozens of commitments to others. Deadlines. Calls. Meetings. But when was the last time you made a commitment to yourself that you truly honored? Here's a truth that will shake you. Self-trust is built in small, silent moments. Not in public victories. Not in motivational speeches. But in the promises you make and keep to yourself. At the start of every week, you have a sacred opportunity to tell yourself, "This week I will show up for me." And then prove it. Writing hand step 1. The power of one promise. Don't make 5 promises. Don't create a long list of personal goals. Choose one bold promise. Something that stretches you, but doesn't break you. Something that reminds you of who you are. Here are examples. This week, I will wake up at 6 a.m. every day and spend 30 minutes building my future. This week, I will not complain, no matter how hard it gets. This week, I will complete the first draft of my project, no matter how messy it feels. This week, I will be radically honest in every conversation. Don't pick what looks good. Pick what feels sacred. Brain step 2. Why one promise works. When you make many promises, your energy gets scattered. But when you make one real promise, your focus sharpens. Your subconscious begins to calibrate around it. You move differently. You speak with more conviction. You act with more urgency. It becomes a silent drumbeat under everything you do. Because this is no longer about trying. This is about proving to yourself that you are the kind of person who does what they say they will do. That identity is priceless. Hammer and wrench step 3. Build a ritual around your promise. A promise without structure is just a wish. So build a ritual around it. If you promise to meditate daily, set the time, the space, the anchor. If you promise to write, schedule your writing hour, protect it like a meeting. If you promise to move, lay out your clothes the night before, set the playlist, remove excuses. Rituals are the bridge between intention and action. Every time you follow the ritual, you cast a vote for your future self. Calendar step 4. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Track it daily. Visibility equals accountability. Write your promise on paper. Stick it on your wall, your phone, your mirror. Speak it aloud every morning. This week, I promised myself to and I will not break that promise. At night, check in. Did I keep my promise today? Not to punish yourself, but to witness yourself. You are the only one who truly knows if you're keeping the vow. That's where self-worth is built. Fire step 5. When it gets hard, lean in. Here's what no one tells you. The moment you make a real promise to yourself, life will test it. You'll get tired. You'll get busy. You'll be tempted to say, just this once. That's the fork in the road. You're either the version of you that keeps promises only when it's easy, or you're the version that honors their word no matter what. Be the second one. That's the version who builds unshakable confidence. That's the version the world begins to respect. That's the version who wins quietly, deeply, consistently. Balance scale step 6. If you fall, restart without shame. You will slip. You will miss a day. You will feel like giving up. Here's the difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck. The stuck say, I failed. What's the point? The strong say, I missed. I restart. I rise. There is no shame in breaking a promise. The only shame is in deciding that means you're unworthy of trying again. You are worthy. Every week. Every time. Every restart. Open book weekly practice. The Promise Journal. Create a space where every Monday you write, what is one bold promise I'm making to myself this week? Why does this promise matter to the version of me I'm becoming? How will I support myself in keeping it? Ritual, schedule, reminder? Then at the end of each day, did I keep my promise? If not, what happened, and how will I return to it? This isn't about perfection. It's about relationship with self. Counterclockwise arrows button. What happens when you do this consistently? You stop doubting yourself. You stop chasing validation. You start walking taller. You start respecting your own voice more than the opinions of others. This is quiet inner power, the kind that cannot be taken. It's not about showing the world. It's about becoming someone you can trust in any situation. Direct hit final thought. This week is not just about work, goals, tasks, or routines. It's about becoming someone you admire. Make one bold promise. Then follow through. Not because anyone is watching, but because you are. And when your actions align with your inner commitments, that's when you stop existing and start leading. Point 7. Start with silence, not screens. Your best ideas live in silence. Your deepest clarity is born in stillness. The modern world begins with noise. We open our eyes and immediately get pulled into screens. Messages, alerts, news, videos, chaos. We fill our mind before we even feel our breath. But here's what the highest performers, the most intentional creators, the most spiritually aligned individuals know. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is direction. And if you truly want to start your week from a place of power, you must begin each morning, not with input, but with presence. You don't need more noise. You need to remember your own voice before the world speaks over it. Man in lotus position. Step 1. Why silence is the gateway. Think of silence like soil. Everything you want to grow, your focus, creativity, confidence, clarity, needs space. Noise crowds that space. Distraction pollutes it. But silence? Silence is where the mind breathes. It's where the soul whispers. It's where your truth finds room to rise. If you start every day absorbing the noise of others, you'll forget your own frequency. You'll lose your orientation. You'll live in reaction instead of creation. Sunrise. Step 2. Create the first 15 ritual. Before coffee. Before conversation. Before devices. Give yourself the first 15 minutes of each day in silence. Here's what it can look like. Sit by a window. Let the light in. Breathe. Close your eyes. No input. No stimulation. Just breath awareness. Let your thoughts arise without judgment. Ask silently, what do I need to hear this morning? What wants to be born from me this week? This is not meditation for productivity. This is communion with yourself. You're not trying to quiet your mind. You're trying to meet yourself before the world meets you. Counterclockwise arrows button. Step 3. Replace the scroll with stillness. Ask yourself this. What's the first thing your fingers touch in the morning? If the answer is your phone, you've already lost the moment. That instant dopamine hit from checking your notifications? It teaches your nervous system to look outward before looking inward. Here's your new rule. Put your phone in a different room at night. Use a minimalist alarm clock if needed. Place a journal, a candle, or a stone where your phone used to be. Let that be the symbol that your day belongs to you, not to your screen. Dove. Step 4. Let silence be your inner compass. Silence isn't just absence of noise. It's presence of awareness. Use your silent time to observe what you feel without fixing it. Sense your emotional weather. Are you anxious? Inspired? Numb? Hopeful? Ask yourself, what is life trying to tell me that I've been too distracted to hear? Sometimes the clarity you need for the entire week shows up in that quiet. But you'll miss it if you're already knee-deep in someone else's opinion, content, or urgency. Light bulb. Step 5. Design your silent space. Environment matters. If you want silence to become a ritual, build a space that holds it. Your silent space can be a chair by a window, a corner with a candle and a mat, a balcony with the sunrise, a notebook, a pen, and a blank page. It doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to feel like you. You are building a temple for your attention. Calendar. Weekly practice. Monday morning of stillness. Make this a ritual. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier on Monday. Don't open your phone. Don't start planning. Don't check the clock. Just sit. Breathe. Observe. Let that silence mark the beginning of your entire week. This isn't wasted time. It's the most powerful investment you'll make in your clarity. Person in lotus position. Bonus practice. Walking in silence. One of the simplest ways to ground your energy. Take a silent walk. No podcast, no music, no calls. Just footsteps in air. Let your thoughts stretch. Let your mind reconnect with nonlinear wisdom. We're not machines. We're not meant to always be absorbing. Sometimes you just need to be. Prohibited what most people do instead. They open their eyes and grab their phone. They scroll for motivation, but absorb anxiety. They drown in content before checking in with their own thoughts. They mistake consumption for connection. But they miss the most powerful voice of all, the one within. And as a result, they live disoriented, rushing from task to task, wondering why they feel disconnected, even when everything seems fine. Don't be one of them. Direct hit final reflection. Silence is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's where you remember who you are, before the world tells you who to be. So this week, begin not with speed, but with stillness. Not with reaction, but with quiet resolve. Because in that quiet space before the world wakes up, that's where your power lives. And when you carry that silence with you through the noise, you don't just live this week. You lead it. Point 8. Choose the energy you want to carry. You are not just a thinker. You are a transmitter. Most people start their week in reaction mode. They absorb stress from headlines. They absorb pressure from coworkers. They absorb tension from their inbox. And then they wonder why they feel drained before the week has even begun. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of absorbing the energy around you, you began choosing and generating the energy you want to carry? Because here's the truth. You are not a passive sponge. You are an energetic architect. And every week, you broadcast who you are by the frequency you choose to live in. Battery step 1. Energy is a decision, not a feeling. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop hoping you'll feel ready. Stop assuming energy will just show up. Energy is not something you wait for. It's something you create. Every time you move your body with intention, every time you speak with conviction, every time you breathe deeply instead of reacting, you are generating a field of power. So ask yourself every Monday, what kind of energy do I want to carry into this week? What would it feel like if I already had it? How would I move, talk, sit, and think if I embodied that frequency? Then act accordingly before you feel like it. Compass step 2, the morning frequency ritual. Start every day this week by anchoring yourself in the energy you choose. Do this in 5 simple minutes. Stand tall. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose, exhale fully through your mouth, X3. Ask, what energy serves me and others today? Confidence? Peace? Joy? Precision? Strength? Name it aloud. Today, I carry focused energy. Then visualize how that energy moves through your actions, your walk, your emails, your tone. This isn't imagination. This is tuning your nervous system. Counterclockwise arrows button step 3. Interrupt the old pattern. During the week, you'll get pulled into old energies. Frustration, anxiety, exhaustion, resentment. Here's the tool. The reset breath. Whenever you feel your energy slipping, pause. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. Put your hand on your chest and say, this is not the energy I choose. I return to focus. I return to presence. I return to strength. It sounds simple, but this moment of conscious interruption rewires your response patterns. You are taking your power back, one breath at a time. Brain step 4, audit the energy leaks. You cannot carry empowered energy if you're leaking it everywhere. Ask yourself, who drains my energy consistently? What task do I dread, and why? What apps, routines, or thought loops steal my focus? Set boundaries. Adjust your workflow. Clear the noise. Say no more often. Do less, but do it from a stronger place. You're not trying to be high energy all the time. You're trying to be clean, focused, and intentional with what you carry. Counterclockwise arrows button step 5. Turn motion into emotion. One of the fastest ways to change your state is through movement. Put on music that aligns with your chosen energy. Move your body. Dance. Do breath work. Do push-ups. Walk fast. Shake off the heaviness. Literally. Motion creates emotion. Don't underestimate this. Before a big call or an important task, move. Before entering your workspace, move. Before your week begins, Move like the person you want to become. Battery Step 6. Protect your recharge cycles. Carrying strong energy requires rhythm. You cannot give fully if you never recover deeply. So build moments into your week for energetic reset. A walk without a phone. A 10-minute silent break between meetings. A full tech-free hour each evening. A day where you say no to everything but restoration. You are not a robot. You are an instrument. And instruments need to be tuned and rested. Headphones Step 7. Use audio anchors. Create a frequency playlist for different energies. One for confidence. One for calm. One for joy. One for creativity. Every time you feel lost or low, press play. Let sound recalibrate your nervous system. Because sometimes, the right energy isn't a thought. It's a vibration you can feel. Woman in Lotus Position Weekly Practice. Energy Forecast, Monday Check-in. Shmonday. What energy do I want to embody this week? Where in my life do I tend to lose that energy? What small rituals will help me return to it? What will I do this week to protect and restore that energy? Answer honestly. Adjust your schedule accordingly. Build your week around energy, not just effort. Final reflection. You are not just doing tasks this week. You are transmitting energy into every space you enter. Your presence is your power. Your energy is your brand. Your frequency is your message. So don't let the week tell you how to feel. Tell the week who you are. Choose your energy. Protect it. Generate it. And watch everything around you rise to meet it. Point 9. Focus on progress, not perfection. Perfection is a prison. Progress is power. Here's what paralyzes most people at the beginning of the week. They want to get everything right. They want flawless execution. They want the ideal schedule, perfect results, and uninterrupted flow. But real life is messy. Real life is unpredictable. Real life demands that you learn to build momentum, not illusions. And so, if you want to begin your week with freedom and forward movement, you must drop the weight of perfection and start falling in love with imperfect progress. Repeat button Step 1. Embrace the 1% rule. You don't need to change everything this week. You just need to get 1% better each day. 1% more focused. 1% more patient. 1% more aligned with your values. That doesn't seem like much. But 1% every day compounds into a completely transformed identity in a matter of months. Progress is about consistency over drama. You don't need the perfect Monday. You need a committed Monday. Writing hand Step 2. Reframe what success looks like. Most people define a successful week as everything went smoothly. Nothing interrupted the plan. I crushed every goal. That's not success. That's fantasy. Here's a better definition. I showed up fully. I adjusted wisely. I grew where I was planted. Even when I slipped, I returned without shame. Even when it wasn't perfect, I made progress that mattered. Success is not perfection. It's movement in the direction of who you want to become. Hammer Step 3. Build momentum through tiny wins. Don't start your week trying to do everything. Start by creating one small win. Examples. Make your bed with intention. Do 5 push-ups. Write 1 honest paragraph. Drink a full glass of water while breathing deeply. Send that uncomfortable email. These wins signal to your subconscious. I am a person who takes action. I move forward, no matter how small the step. Once momentum begins, resistance weakens. Action becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. Stop sign Step 4. Let go of the all-or-nothing trap. Perfectionists operate with this toxic belief. If I can't do it right, I won't do it at all. But here's the truth. You'll never get it exactly right. And you don't need to. Do it messy. Do it uncertain. Do it afraid. Because action teaches you more than planning ever will. And every imperfect rep trains your nervous system to trust motion over hesitation. Repeat button Step 5. Progress overcomes paralysis. You don't need motivation. You need proof. And the fastest way to build self-belief is by stacking tiny acts of progress. So if you feel stuck this week, don't analyze, just act. Don't obsess, just start. Don't try to perfect the plan, Just move the needle forward. The more you act, the more clarity you gain. The more you wait, the heavier it feels. Man in Lotus Position Step 6. Journal the progress, not just the problems. Every evening, write down, one thing I did better today than yesterday. One thing I faced that used to scare me. One thing I'm proud of, even if it's small. Don't just record goals. Record growth. When you witness your own evolution, you become addicted to showing up again. That's how discipline becomes devotion. Magnifying glass tilted right. Step 7. Understand that mastery is ugly at first. The beginning of anything great looks awkward. The first speech is shaky. The first post is average. The first client call is clumsy. The first workout is weak. But do you know what separates the top 1% from everyone else? They're willing to look foolish in the pursuit of something meaningful. They're not attached to how it looks. They're committed to how far it will take them. This week, be willing to look bad if it means becoming great. Calendar weekly practice. Progress tracker. Every Monday, what is one area I want to grow in this week? What would imperfect action look like in that area? How will I track small wins, even if they're invisible to others? Celebrate every win. Note every time you return after slipping. Remind yourself, progress is the plan. Prohibited what most people do. They wait to feel perfect before beginning. They stop if the first try isn't flawless. They sabotage momentum with unrealistic expectations. They compare their day 1 to someone's year 5. That's why most people stay stuck. That's why most people start every week with enthusiasm and end it with disappointment. Don't be one of them. Direct hit. Final reflection. The life you want isn't waiting at the end of a perfect week. It's being built one imperfect day at a time. So stop performing. Start progressing. This week, skip the pressure. Skip the ego. Show up. Get better. Move forward. Because the only people who change their lives are the ones who are willing to start before they're ready. Point 10. End each week with intentional reflection. If you don't stop to look back, you'll never know how far you've come. Most people rush from one week to the next without ever pausing to integrate. They live on fast forward. One task after another. One problem after the next. Always reacting. Rarely reflecting. But this is where power leaks out of your life. Not from failure. Not from lack of talent. But from missing the wisdom that your own life is trying to teach you. You cannot grow if you never gather. You cannot improve if you never observe. So if you want to become someone who lives with clarity, calm, and direction, you must end each week with a pause full of presence. Calendar. Step 1. Why reflection is a superpower. Reflection is not just a journal entry. It's a spiritual and strategic audit. It says to life, I am paying attention. I am learning from what I do, not just repeating it. I don't want to be busy. I want to be conscious. And here's the paradox. The more you reflect, the more intentional your future becomes. The more you pause, the faster you grow. The more you look inward, the further you go outward. Candle. Step 2. The Friday evening ritual or Sunday reset. Choose a quiet 30-minute window at the end of your week. Light a candle. Put on soft music. Close unnecessary tabs. And answer these 5 questions in a notebook or digital journal. What am I most proud of this week? What challenged me the most, and how did I respond? What did I avoid that I know I need to face? Where did I feel most alive, most connected to my purpose? What one lesson will I carry into next week? Do not rush this. Let it be sacred. Because this moment, this is where your wisdom forms. Repeat button. Step 3. Review without judging. This is important. Reflection is not self-criticism. It is not shame. It is not regret. It is awareness. It is kindness. It is clarity. Say to yourself, I did the best I could with the awareness I had. Now I know more. Now I will do better. This keeps the door to progress open. Shame slams it shut. Compassion cracks it wider. Chart increasing. Step 4. Track the invisible wins. Progress is not always loud. It's not always obvious. But it's always happening, if you learn how to see it. Did I respond more calmly this week? Did I keep one more promise to myself? Did I stop myself from spiraling into doubt? Did I write, create, show up even a little more boldly? Write it down. These are not small wins. These are signs that your future self is waking up. Counterclockwise arrows button step 5. Integrate, don't just observe. Once you reflect, ask yourself, what will I do differently next week? What boundary will I reinforce? What habit will I protect more fiercely? What distraction will I eliminate? Turn your reflection into a roadmap. Your past is not just a story. It's a strategy, if you use it. Full Moon Step 6. Acknowledge yourself. Every week that you show up with intention is a week worth celebrating. You didn't coast. You didn't numb out. You lived with your eyes open. That is rare. That is sacred. So take a moment to look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of the way I'm becoming. I'm not perfect. I'm present. I'm not finished. I'm further. This is not vanity. This is validation. And it's the kind that counts, because it comes from you. Writing hand, weekly practice. The reflection letter. Each week, write a short note to yourself. Dear, your name. This week you learned. This week you grew. This week you forgot. This week you remembered. And next week, you will begin again, with more truth, more clarity, more heart. This practice turns your week into a living document of your evolution. You'll look back months from now and see a person who refused to live unconsciously. You'll see the road you built by being awake. Prohibited what most people do instead. They skip reflection. They keep chasing. They numb the hard moments and overlook the great ones. They start Monday already exhausted from the emotional weight of last week. But you now carry a new power. You begin each week with purpose because you ended the last one with presence. Direct hit final reflection. You are not here just to complete weeks. You are here to grow through them. The week doesn't own you. You are the author. And at the end of each chapter, you get to stop, reread, highlight what matters, and decide how the next chapter will be written. So pause, reflect, celebrate, adjust. And on Monday morning, when the world rushes, you'll walk in slowly, clear, unshaken, ready. Because you didn't just start another week. You designed it.